Welcome to Ad Spend Secrets. My name is Luke Smith. In this episode, we're going to talk about when it might be time to consider increasing your prices. This is going to be based on real client conversations that I've been having over the last month. So in our agency, we run what we call the Growth Finder program, which runs for 60 days, and it's a lower commitment, lower investment program for brands that are looking to test different creatives. They may be unsure if their brand is going to resonate on Meta ads or Google ads, and they just want to understand and get confidence in the numbers, see if the margins are making sense, and see if they can start walking up that ad spend in a profitable way. So we had a brand come on from the US approximately October, November last year, and they initially were limited in inventory, right? So they had a set amount of product, and they said, look, if we get a sale every 2 days, one every 2 days is really all we're looking for. We haven't had traffic to the site. We want to see how paid traffic responds. And that's essentially what we kicked off to do, send qualified people to their site through Meta and, being Facebook and Instagram and Google. We wanted to see the time on site. Most of all, what we wanted to know was, does cold traffic convert? If we send people to their site through ads, is their website going to convert? Interestingly, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, but we actually set up with a sales campaign on a conversion objective, and the CPA was somewhere around $130. Way too high, never going to be doable. We had about 6 ads in rotation at that time, and there was a fairly even distribution of spend within that campaign, but obviously the cost per result was a little bit too high. The cost per click was pretty good, but it just wasn't optimizing in the way that it should be. It wasn't finding the right pockets of buyers, and it wasn't getting the results for the client. So we pivoted to an ASC campaign, at Advantage Plus Shopping campaign, and it was actually crazy what happened. We used the exact same creatives, duplicated them over into an ASC campaign. Within 1 week, the cost per result, the cost per conversion, dropped from about $120 USD down to $13 USD. Since that day, they've been getting not the sale every 2 days that they were looking for. They've been getting 3 to 4 sales a day through this one campaign alone. We've still got the budget set as 20 to somewhere between $30 and $50 a day, I think. Probably closer to 50 at the moment. We're still doing a bit of tests on the side, a few side quests here and there with various campaigns and creatives, but the ASC is the one that is actually driving all of the results. Amazing to see the same ads perform so much differently just by changing the campaign objective, right? So if you're not running ASCs, I would recommend giving it a go. But how do we get to this pricing conversation? Well, they run out of inventory, right? We were making 3 to 4 sales a day. They were trying to make product as quickly as possible just to keep up, and the CPA is sitting at around $13-14, and we're over a 3 times blended return on ad spend. And so they've got all of this demand. We've got a campaign that's working and looking to work pretty consistently, that might have 1 or 2 days of a slow period with 0 or 1 sales, and then it'll hit a nice pocket of audience, and we'll get 3-4 days of 4 sales per day in a row. So it's averaging out really nicely. The product is priced a little bit low, and we were talking to the client, and it just makes sense at this point because there's so much demand. The CPA, cost per purchase, is in line with KPI, and they're limited in inventory. So slowing sales isn't an issue at the moment. It might actually be beneficial, but the real test is, if we increase price, what happens to the cost per purchase on Facebook? Because we know Facebook ads are driving these sales. Before Facebook ads were set up, there was no activity or sales to the website. So we're pretty confident 100% of the sales activity is coming from Facebook. The CPA is good. The test that we want to do is, if we go from $40 per item to $45 per item, will the cost per purchase remain at $13 to $15? If we see no change in the cost per acquisition, the cost per sale there, it's a massive win for the client, because what we've done there is we've just improve the ratio of all of the margins. That we keep the CPA the same, and they can increase their profitability on the product itself just by increasing price. So if you're thinking about the pricing of your product, I would think about the inventory availability and the demand that you're generating through ads. And I feel like that's why it's so important to get these ads cranking at a budget level that you're comfortable with, so that you can get some predictability in the amount of inventory that you're moving and going to move, and then you can make these tweaks. I think the other reason it's good to start testing price in this example is because they're a newer brand, right? They don't have thousands of customers in a massive brand presence that's built around what they're selling and what they're selling it at. They're new to the market. We've got a massive audience in the US. We're only spending $40, $50 a day at the moment. And so there's really no harm in reaching a new person, having them see the product at $45 instead of $40. So this is going to be an evolving conversation. I'm sure this is a test that we'll be running. And I'll keep this thread open. But I just wanted to share my thoughts as to when it might be a good time to increase price that will give you more room to move with ads, more profit on the back end if the ad costs stay the same. The higher you can sell your product for, obviously, and remain competitive, the better for growth. So it's going to be interesting to hear back from the client. We'll keep an eye on the ad platform and see if we can keep that cost per purchase around $15. But if you're not running ASC, this is a message from me to go and set up an ASC campaign, because migrating campaign types like that, like I said, $130 per sale down to $15 per sale. Same creatives. I think we had 6 in rotation, copied and pasted the 6 across to an ASC campaign. United States wide, broad targeting, let the platform and the algorithm do its thing. And it really, really helped this client. So I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions around the use of an ASC campaign or pricing and positioning in general, and what you should be seeing on the Meta platform in terms of a cost per purchase, just reach out to myself, Luke, at simplyconverting.com. Thanks.